Hello, I'm Victoria and I'm a product designer and I help people set up websites from out-of-the-box products that exist, like Shopify. So this is a Shopify store that I'm currently working on. It's for an artist, stunning art, and I'm trying to teach the founder how to edit pieces of text on the site using code, because unfortunately in the color scheme editing, we don't have the ability to edit this text, for example, which is actually the text being pulled from the product descriptions. So you can kind of apply this to any elements on your site. So I'm going to show you how to use the developer tools on Chrome. So it's really important that you have Chrome. You can use the developer tools on Safari or Firefox, but Chrome is just a lot more user-friendly. So in one tab I've got Shopify open, and in the other tab I have the product page, and this is a custom product template that I've created, and this is on this theme Studio, I believe, which is an art theme. So I've got two templates for products going on. I've got a standard template, which you'll be used to seeing, and then I've made her a custom template for each individual artwork, which looks like this, and I've used just the standard blocks to build this. So I'm going to go over to Shopify, and from your homepage you want to click on Online Store, and if your internet loads as fast as mine you can click on Customize, and I'll show you where the templates are sitting. So this tutorial, what I'm going to show you, can really be applied to any area of your site. Just the very method of inspecting what you need to edit and then using your editor to apply custom CSS. CSS is the code that controls the styling. So I'm going to make this super basic, as if you've never sort of touched code before, but something, if you have touched code before, you'll obviously find it a lot easier, but this is just a really quick way to find out what code you need to add. So I'm going to come into the product template, and this is a product template specifically for this artwork. That's just the way I've set it up. And the colour of text that I want to edit, she's not happy with the colour of this text. It's a bit light. So on your browser, on your Chrome browser, you're going to want to highlight the text, hit right click, and click inspect. And then you'll see this horrific layout open, and I'm going to set this to responsive, which basically means I can drag it into any device size, and right now this is desktop, obviously, and so you can see a bunch of code in the right hand side. Let's expand this, and you can see, if you're familiar with HTML, that we are working with an H5, which is a heading number 5. So the hierarchy of headings goes H1, which is our biggest heading, like the heading you'll see on your homepage, H2, which might be a subheading, and then 3, 4, 5, all the way to 6. So this is working as an H5. You can ignore this meta line for now, and then inside this you've got span, which a span is like a div if you know code. Otherwise a span, and if you see div anywhere else, just indicates a section, and in this section we happen to have text, so you can see that that text is sitting here. So I'm actually going to select this whole entire thing. I'm going to collapse that H5. There's two H5s in here, so you can see when I hover it highlights what I'm looking over. I'm going to click on the div that these two H5s are sitting within, so the section which these headings are within. And you can see they have this little equal sign to something in, I've forgotten the word for these, speech marks, which says class equals product description __ description space RTE space quick add hidden. Right, so here it's really easy to see that, okay, this is a section which has been identified as product description. And so knowing these classes, so a little tip on classes is that when you see classes, they are unique identifiers for specific sections or elements in code. You can use the same class identifier on various different sections, but if you're using it in your styling elements, if I apply the style pink to a section which has the class product description, any other section which has the class product description will also be pink. So that's an example. And then on the right of this, you can see styles. You may have to play around with this to open these different settings in the developer tools. If you need help with that, just drop a comment below. So you can see on this side, you can see what styling has been applied, and there's quite a lot going on, because in themes there's various different areas where styling is applied. And what we're really looking for is the colour. So you can go as far to just scroll and see where the colour is coming from. As soon as you see colour, and colour in CSS, this is all CSS here, is always applying to the text. Whereas background colour, like you see below, always applies to the background. And what this section is saying is that this is the most recent implication, or the word I can't remember, my brain's gone blank, the most recent application, there you go, the most recent application of CSS. And it kind of works its way back in the code to find where styling is being applied. And you can see here it says inherited from section main product template, meaning that this main product template has all this styling below it until you see the next inherited line. And so this text is inheriting its text color from the main product template section. And so this means that if I was to go and change this color in the source code, which we don't really want to do, that's the whole point of looking into this, I could go and change this code in the source code and it would change the text color. But because of the way themes are set up and the way they're built, for a novice, someone setting up the site who just wants to use code now and then just to enhance things and change things a little bit, you don't really want to touch the base code as much as you can. So if we go back to our theme and we're going to click on this product template, product information, click on this section, and you scroll, so you can see that the color scheme is applied here. But if you scroll down to the bottom, we have this custom CSS section, which is this custom styling. So you can see I've added some styling to the product text. I've changed the product text size. I've added some styling to the whole thing to add some padding, so some spacing at the top and the bottom. I've added a shadow to the product media, which is the image, and I've changed the H1 to be a certain custom font. But now what I want to do is I want to apply styling to this description. So now here's where the magic happens. So if we go back to Chrome, we saw that my class is product description and it's div.class. So this is where some CSS knowledge may be needed, but I'll show you specifically for this element how you can change the color of the text. So we'll go back here, and to select a div or a span, you really want to use the full stop button, which is a shortcut for div, but you can write div dot, and we'll keep it as div dot just to make this simple. And then you want to paste in product description. And then to start defining your styles, you want to use curly brackets, open those curly brackets. Shopify will automatically add a closing curly bracket. And then you want to add color black. And then if you scroll down, you see, okay, well, why hasn't this applied? And yep, still not applying. So what you want to do is, if you use exclamation mark and important, this should hopefully apply it. So I've actually gone back to the code and I can see that the span, the section inside the H5 section, has some color applying to it. And this is pulling from somewhere that I couldn't actually find in the source code. So you have to click around within the specific section, expanding all these sections, seeing how deep in you can get, and seeing what instances of color is applied. So we can see the inherited color is not being applied. You can see that I've added this custom text, black, but it's being overridden by this color here. So I want to target this span. So in order to do that, There we go. So in order to do that, we need to add a selector. So if I revert this to product description, and you can copy straight from here, if I revert this back to what we originally started with, which was product description, to add a second selector, which makes it even more specific, I'm targeting any span tags inside the product description element. And I'm saying, okay, this needs to be black. And so that's a really quick way, quite slow, really quick way of how to use this code developer tool of inspecting the code in order to find what element you need to apply your styling to. And so while you probably do need a base understanding of HTML and CSS, hopefully this gives you a little bit of an understanding of what you're looking at when you specifically select. So specifically selecting, clicking right-clicking, clicking inspect, and seeing the exact tag you need to edit. And then using this right-hand styles bar to find the color. And the same can be applied to your font family, which is basically your font. You can apply this to shadows, to margins, to padding, to everything. And this is where you can use your custom CSS section in your Shopify theme to apply custom styling. So if I was to save this, that's annoying. If I was to save this, it would do exactly what I'm going to do here, which is override this with black, and we'll apply this to this one as well. If I was to save it, it would look exactly like this, and cross that, and I can see that it is black. And that is also the great thing about that inspect tool. You can apply the code you wish to apply live in your browser, and then if you hit refresh, it will revert it back to default. And that is a really crash course way of how you can use the inspector to apply custom styling. If you want really quick intros into HTML, into CSS for someone who's very low tech, just using Shopify for the first time, maybe have a basic understanding of CSS and HTML, no JavaScript here, I promise, let me know. Otherwise, there's loads of tutorials on YouTube and I can direct you in the right place. But yeah, that is how you can use the inspector tool to help you style your Shopify theme. Bye!